Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday morning Paranormal Coffee Talk. I'm Nighthawk, and Eric is with us also. And today is your day. Today is Eric's and the chat's day because Nighthawk is burned out. So we are going to do a pick on whatever Eric wants to talk about and whatever the chat wants to get off their chest and out there and talk about too. So it's going to be an open discussion today. Okay. So the copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted material without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls under the Fair Use, which is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast channel and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for purposes such as criticism, parody, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, and let's not forget general knowledge, and let's not forget the entertainment value. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, which makes allowances for all, which is otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay, that being said, not all of the information and stuff that is given for entertainment purposes only is necessarily the beliefs of the channel or the hosts of the channel. They are merely topics of discussion, and as such should be treated as such. And by all means, we urge everybody to do their own research and their own investigation, because that is the only way, unfortunately, in our wide world of screwiness, that we're going to get the truth. So that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Fluffy himself, my brother from my Missouri mother, Eric Testerman.
Hey, everyone. So, I got a couple things, a couple videos we're going to talk about. Joshua, we did cover a little bit about Under the Pyramid, and I've got a video that is linked to that I'll be playing today as well. Amongst things flying in the sky, fake jabs. So we got a little bit different stuff to go. Sorry, my allergies are like really jacking with me this morning.
Yeah.
Hey, Deidre. So I mean, yeah, we got a list of stuff to cover, but we kind of hit on it last night with the pyramid thing. We've talked about this a lot about how the pyramids weren't actually tombs; they were power conductors. You know, excuse me. Now we're starting to find out they're starting to leak information. I'm sorry, I don't believe they just found this out. I really do not believe this. With all the information we've known through the years, they had to have known. I think this is another soft disclosure of what they found under the pyramids. I think they finally perfected it, and now they're going to leak it out. Hey, Bounty. And so a lot of what you're seeing here is a very good concept of what they found under the pyramids. Prior to this find, we've covered this multiple times, how the acid stained on the walls and the mercury and everything else they found all leads to power conducting. And that's what we've said for a very long time. These pyramids weren't, tombs, they were power conductors. Well, now they came out with that stuff. And here's a short video on what we're talking. Where did you go? Hold on. Oh, okay. Never mind. I lied to you. I forgot to upload it. Oh, that's right. I was waiting on the. I got caught up in the comments and forgot to upload that. So I'll upload that real quick. Okay. While that's uploading, I'll continue talking. But so this really fits with things, because we've talked about multiple times how our ancestors knew how to tap into the geo formation under the earth to conduct energy. There's tales from the Anunnaki and all other different religions talking about tapping into the natural natural energies of the planet to do what they need to do. Hey, Emmy. And this is just one more proof of it. I mean, this is just one more proof of this ancient technology. We've said it multiple times on here too, that our ancestors, either educated by whoever, an outside source, or just having the brain power to do it, was a hell of a lot smarter, more specific, far more advanced than what we gave them credit for. So we've found numerous tools and numerous other things throughout archaeological digs that suggest this very same concept. So this quote unquote new discovery just pretty much goes with that. I mean, sorry, I can't see the chats, or can't pull up any chats because this deal's downloaded. So I'll get you guys stuff pulled up here in a minute. That's why I'm kind of looking over here at my YouTube to look. Yeah, Carl. Yeah, direction bait and switch. What else? Yeah, I mean, this is very common. There you go. It's uploaded. So this is the video I found this morning on it, and kind of interested in what William and you all think about this. And here we go.
Well, it seems like today someone has finally made their way down the shafts that were found under the pyramids in Egypt. Clutch your pearls, girls, because now you're telling me that as of today, Dr. and archaeologist Rami, I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I don't want to be disrespectful to the Egyptian culture, is the first human being to make his way to the bottom of the shafts underneath the pyramid and has reported back what he found in the chamber at the bottom. And it is mind-blowing. Now, like always, take what you will, leave what you won't. I have purposely not talked about this topic yet because I like to have my facts backed. But as of today, allegedly, archaeologist Rami, I'm not going to try the name again, has made his way to the bottom, and what he found there was perfect blue, like water chambers, I guess is what I'm referring to them as, with the most beautiful blue color water that he's ever seen in his life, with preserved humanoid body-like creatures in the water, with, as he describes, the most crystal clear blue color in their eyes that he has ever seen. Now, once again, anything we talk about is for conversation, learning, entertainment purposes only. But have you heard this? Because I've now read 10 different reports and seen multiple videos all over social media, all over the different forums, and they're all claiming the exact same thing. So tell me, have you heard this? Because this is going to shake up history and the truth of our world like nothing else. So let's have this conversation today because I want to know if more people know about this. So drop it in the comments.
So yeah, I mean, I found that video interesting. That's why I sent it to William, and then I uploaded it onto here. What do you guys think? I'm kind of interested what you all think on that.
That's definitely interesting, bro. Especially the part with the beings with the blue eyes. And again, you have the connection to water. I just, there's always that connection. Always, you're always going to find that connection in everything. And I do believe that water is the medium that the supernatural realms below us and above us actually have a means to get to our world. I do believe that that is the way that they traverse it. And, it very well could be part of prophecy unfolding right before our eyes. And, if it's underneath just one place, underneath one of the pyramids in Egypt, think about all the hundreds of other pyramids around the world.
Oh yeah, look! Every time they find a mummy, regardless if it's a pharaoh or not, they don't find them at the pyramids. They never find them in the pyramids. They find them in the land of the dead, which should be a huge, huge indicator of what was going on here. But yeah, the blue and blue-eyed beings that's perfectly preserved under there. Huh? I mean, are they used as the catalyst for this energy? Possibly. Is this is this dang it? Sorry, guys. Is this way they preserve their bodies to be resurrected? Because we know that.
Here's a thought that I just had, Eric, about that whole situation. What if that technology was a regeneration technology? What if it was to bring them back to life?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the resurrection chamber. Because, the ancient Sumerians and even the ancient Egyptians were very big on resurrection. Look at the biggest deal here. I've got a video I can download and upload on here of them even talking about our own government alone trying to gain DNA and all the stuff stolen from the museums over there in the big kitty litter box leading up to the resurrection of Gilgamesh because they want to learn how to do it. So you're getting this information out, and now we're seeing this stuff under the pyramid and perfectly preserved bodies, just like Gilgamesh's perfectly preserved body, ready for reanimation. Is this what it all is? And we know they have to soft disclose stuff. So is this a soft disclosure?
And we know that some pretty prominent people in political parties have been looking for the chamber for a long time, especially since they found Gilgamesh. And, I'm telling you, some of these evil people that run our society today as a whole are just pure evil. They really are. And to think that they can even put themselves in the same category as these beings that are already in the chambers, and in the same category as Gilgamesh shows you how much ego they have. And they will never do anything to benefit the whole of humanity as far as all of us is concerned. They will only do it for themselves. And Hillary Clinton is a perfect example of that.
Yep. And that certain individual, we'll just say HC, was mentioned in that video I was just talking about. When we after the war, we gave them back most everything that we took for the museums, except for It was a 300 or 3,000 artifacts that dealt strictly with the resurrection of Gilgamesh. That was the
3,000.
only things that were 3,000. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, yeah, Meadow. So, um, yeah, I mean, so this is all this stuff to me, regardless if it sounds like it's tied together to not, I think a little bit more logically than most people. And to me, this all fits together like a perfect jigsaw puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
You got different colors that, but they all come together, and once they're all put together, they make this beautiful picture. That's exactly what we're looking at. It. That's just my opinion, my theory, my hypothesis. But that's how I see this. This is how I look at these things.
Thank you, Meadow.
So thank. I don't know. I mean, I can download that one, but I'd have to open up them other screens real quick. But
go right ahead, man.
you know, I'll just add it to the other ones too. Yep. Okay, open up that one for that. Give me a second, guys.
I'm laughing.
Yeah,
because
shut everything.
Snow is just so relaxed right now.
Yeah, he is. He was happier than a hog in shit last night. He was out chasing away the evil horde of possums that come to overtake our home. That's like his number one favorite thing to do is wrangle possums and armadillos. I don't know what vendetta he has against them, but I swear to God, he barks out, Sparta, and goes after him. I mean, he just goes nuts after possums and armadillos.
That's
It's funny as hell.
Oh.
But he just all come back. He was just, you know, he was just happy. I mean, he chased away the evil possums. All right, let me find that Gilgamesh one real quick. Celebrity reptilian shapeshifters. Lives this warden specific.
Awesome police.
Yeah, he is, dude. It's like his favorite thing in the world to do. It's funny as hell. Maybe I sent that yesterday. Maybe I didn't send. I thought I sent that this morning, but maybe I was yesterday. No, it was. Okay, never mind. Okay, here it is. I found it. I just got to open it up and get the code.
Alrighty.
Maybe, if my computer will do what I want it to do, which it decided to do its own thing. Go figure. Okay, I got to wait for it to reload. Let's see, where did we leave off in comments here? Yeah, it's yeah, he's coughing fit. He can't tie. Yeah, I'm that way right now too, Kyle. Man, my allergies are flat whooping my butt. I mean, I'm out of honey and I can't afford to.
That's an interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting comment, Hunter, Bounty Hunter. You know, I was thinking about that late last night, because I'm not sure how close Miramar is, Thailand, to that area, mile wise, but they got hit with that 7.7 earthquake, and you know, 10,000 people so far have been found to have lost their lives, and literally there are cities that are literally lying in rubble because of it. And they showed videotape. They showed video of it, of this skyscraper that was being constructed, and how it came down, and it had this big crane, you know, the skyscraper cranes that they always use. And they showed the skyscraper crane bending and falling over, and it showed the people falling out of the crane from like 100 stories up. And it was so, you know, I posted this morning on Facebook that we need to pray for them, but Yeah, just that is a tragedy, and I'm just curious to see if something might have triggered that earthquake, you know,
When did this happen?
within the last 12 hours.
Okay, never mind. Because I had an interesting thing happen to me at work the other day that, man, I was like, am I having an earthquake? Did something blow up? But yeah, that was a couple days ago. Okay, I got that Gilgamesh one downloading. Yeah, I was sitting in my sign truck, just got through doing an install, and all of a sudden, my whole truck goes just like that, and I was like, "What the hell?" So I thought I got rear-ended or something. I was like, I'm in a subdivision, but people race through subdivisions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Looked around, no vehicle. I was like, okay, did my rear end just fall out under my work truck or something? So I got out of my truck, looked around. My drive axle was fine, rear end was fine, everything was fine. I have no idea, but I was just sitting in that truck doing computer work, and all of a sudden, the truck jumps up a little. Nine. Opa.
Then again, it could be the invisible forces out there that are causing this too. But yeah, I tried to figure out if possibly the pyramid information might have had something to do with that. So that's why I find that very interesting, Bounty. I really do.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting
Hey,
comment.
Freaky. Yeah. I've
Hey,
got
Freaky
that
and
video
Lori.
uploaded.
Kyle.
I'm getting caught up on the comments. So I'll play that Gilgamesh one real quick.
Okay.
Because I know I'm behind on the comments. Yeah, Valley of the Kings. Yep, that's another one. But also the Valley of the Dead. They found a lot of mummies in the Valley of the Dead as well. So I mean, that's another place to consider. They're finding all these remains of mummies in places it's not even the tent. I mean, what they call what's interesting about what they call the King's Chamber is actually the dimensions of where their sarcophagus is supposed to go is actually not the size of a sarcophagus, but it's the size for the Ark of the Covenant. If you actually study the size of that indention in the floor in the King's Chamber of the pyramids, is the perfect dimensions for the Ark of the Covenant. Now, if you study some of these ancient Anunnaki stuff, they'll tell you there was actually 6 of these things that we call an Ark of the Covenant. I don't know. I have done enough. Yeah, I need to, Carl. I don't know how much truth is in there, but that is some studies I've been hearing as of late. So I don't know. I mean, it's possibility.
Yeah.
With the solar burst we had, earthquakes will always pop up other side of the globe. The quake machines, I believe, we have. Oh yeah, the big soldier dude show me they can make earthquakes. Yeah. Not only do they have the machine do it, but they can use frequency, which will cause it too. Hearth is, or not Hearth.
Harp.
No, my Harpa. Harpa can do it with their frequencies as well. Yeah, there's a there. Yeah, I remember hearing about the hole in the sun for a long time. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Well,
Hey, Lori.
I like what Urso brought up too, though. I would like to be able to study and see all the pyramids that are hidden around the world if they fall on ley lines.
Yeah.
Most
of them do. Most of them do.
But
And the thing about ley lines,
I'd like to actually get it recorded to where they are and map it out and just see what kind of pattern, because I bet you we will find a grid pattern that encompasses the entire world.
yeah. Well, and the thing too about ley lines, people always talk about the ley lines. They don't understand the ley lines is what we conceive it. What they're actually, the ley lines follow is the energy of the earth. For us, the ley line is from my site from point A to point B, but what's underneath that ley line from where I'm looking is actually the energy's earth pattern. And it's interesting how these ley lines actually follow the grid of the Earth's natural energy flow. And so, I mean, in all these pyramids and all these other structures that we're finding, they're all set on these natural energy lines of Mother Earth, which we call ley lines.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of stuff's going to come out in the open this year, Carl. Absolutely. I agree about the arc. It fits. Yeah. According to, if memory serves me correctly, it's been about 6 months since I looked into this. I believe it's the legend of the 6 arcs actually comes from ancient Anunnaki. And they were batteries. They literally is what they were. They were batteries, and they would fit them in these places here, and they would help turn places like the pyramid into a big old energy conductor. But the latent terms were they were batteries. Well, if you understand how a battery works and you know the story about the Ark of the Covenant, you're going to go, holy crap, that fits. Because what happens
one of the arcs, one of the Ark of the Covenants is still under the Dome of the Rock because of all the aerial phenomena over it. They're drawn to it. So, what else is buried under some of these old structures, from biblical times? It'd be interesting to find out, what's underneath the Sphinx, what's underneath Stonehenge. Has anybody ever done a LiDAR area coverage of Stonehenge? I mean, there's just so many
stuff that goes.
Yeah.
There's stuff that goes way down further than what we see at Stonehenge. They've done LiDAR, and there's stuff that goes way down, much like the pyramid. It goes way down further than what we actually see. Yeah, it's ancient structures. And what is it on again? What we call a ley line, a natural energy flow of the earth.
Exactly.
Just like everything else.
Yep.
In fact, I believe they found whole compounds underneath the Stonehenge. I can't remember if it's that one, the Stonehenge in England, or the one in Scotland. I think was where the other one was. Anyways, one of them, I think they found a whole compound underneath.
Yeah, the one in England, though, they found an actual coming from the river. They found stone monuments and stuff all the way up for like a 3 or 4 mile hike where the masses of people would walk. And they have all these standing structured stones that they uncovered, thousands of them, leading to Stonehenge. And, you almost have to think that at one time, this planet was literally the humans on the planet, or whatever you want to call the beings that lived before us, were so in sync with the energies of the planet. They knew what to do. They knew how to tap into that energy and get 100% of it. How we could let that sacred knowledge just slip away is beyond me. It really is.
This thing's getting in the way of my typing. I was trying to get something set up for the next one. If the ark fits in the pyramid, do you all think there are one in all pyramids all over the globe? I personally believe they are.
That'd be a lot of arcs.
Well, I mean, look at the story of Enlil. Enlil traveled the world teaching people how to make pyramids. What is tied to Enlil? The ark's tied to him, a bunch of other stuff. I was trying to see if I can get the Valley of the Dead pulled up on the Google Maps for you, Roxanne, because it's around where the Valley of the Kings. In fact, I think the two are attached together, but I could be wrong, or they're close by. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I'm trying to multitask here and do a bunch of other stuff. But yes, it's the Valley of the Dead is in Egypt. I can't remember exactly where it's at though, but I want to say it's over by the Valley of the Kings, somewhere close by.
Huh.
Yeah, I remember studying that years and years ago, when I was doing some study on Egypt. But they call the Valley of the Dead, which is they also talk about um, the darkness that's a tied to the Valley of the Dead. But I believe it's pretty much where there's bodies and mummies of all different kinds in this thing. I think they even hinted a little bit about it in that movie in Scorpion King. Yes, and the dome is already built underground, just waiting to pit the top above found on. Yeah, yeah. Crystal skulls is another one. Yeah. I've often wondered, are these crystal skulls an actual um, alien skulls, or are they crafted for, what does crystal do? Reflects light. So are they some type of um, information hub, power hub? I mean,
Well,
whatever. Yeah, there's Stonehenge in Canada. Yep.
there's been studies done on the crystal skulls since their founding, and they found out that they are literally almost like a computer. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to remember off my head. I'm trying to multitask here. Um, I bet below the Stonehenge will be similar tech like the pyramids, more natural healing. I would say you're probably hitting the nail on the head pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. Yeah, this one here says the Valley of the Dead is the same place as the Valley of the Kings. That's what I was thinking. When I try to find it, it takes me right to the Valley of the Kings. So that's what I thought. The Valley of the Dead was the same place as the Valley of the Kings. Okay. It's been a while since I looked into it. So my memory's kind of. I just saw a couple of videos of the earthquake today and it may just be my perception. The building shown completely did an impulsion coming down on floor by floor. Well, there's several factors you have to, hey Val, that you have to put into this. People, contractors, and government standards allow contractors to cut corners on true building specs. An actual sturdy building should have 16-inch spacings between each joist. They do them at 21. Uh, Pine is a soft wood, but they allow pine to be used as joist and floor supports. That's a soft wood. You should use something like oak or something hard and sturdy, but they're allowed to cut corners, cut cost, and use pine. So this is why homes and buildings nowadays don't last near as long as they used to, because they're made cheaply and they're made to cut with corners cut. So we got to consider all this into these factors too. Every contractor out there trying to make money is going to cut corners one way or another to keep more money in their pocket. Greed has a lot to do with it. Politics has a lot to do with it. We have to consider all that.
yeah, very true.
I tell you what, Hank Hill, you hear of SSP going and taking planets from other species. What if this one of them, and we're told we originally came here? That has been a theory or so. That really has been a theory. And I got a video I'll play here in a little bit once I'm done with the Gilgamesh. I'm trying to get caught up on your guys' comments. I mean, the comments today are flying. But I mean, makes you wonder.
Know what? Yeah, you know what I found fascinating about that video that you played about what's underneath the pyramids and what they found, is how clean and pristine everything looked.
Yep.
I mean, it looked like somebody dusted in there on a daily basis. It's not even like my house. My house gathers dust every freaking hour. You'd have to literally keep up with it all the time. you would think something that would have been buried for thousands and thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, would have some kind of dust. That place looked pristine, like the insides of an old television set.
Yeah, it did. And yes, I cannot dispute the fact. Could that be AI? Absolutely, that could be AI because they're using it to represent what they found. I have to do that sometimes because I don't have an actual picture of what I need to give visualization of what behind represent. So that is absolutely a possibility. Um, but I don't know. That one really didn't have any AI. I mean, I need to watch it more. From the few times I've watched it, it didn't look like AI.
Right. Well,
Thanks for sharing
I'm
that.
not saying that it's fabricated or anything. I'm just saying that it just, for that to be that clean, you would think that it would need some kind of upkeep. So either they have
Yeah.
known about this the entire time and have been trying to figure out how to
Yep.
utilize it or make it work.
Yep.
Um, you know, it makes sense to me that somebody or something has been keeping that place clean if that was actually a legitimate video. So,
And that goes right back to the comment I made at the beginning that I believe this is something they've been dealing with for a long time and are just now softly disclosing it.
mhm. I mean,
So,
even the copper that was there wasn't tarnished
yep.
in any way. You would see some kind of tarnishing on the copper for sitting there for that long. So,
Mhm.
somebody or something is keeping that very, very spot specific clean.
Yep. Okay, guys. So I'm going to play the Gilgamesh Resurrection video, and you'll see why we're seeing a connection between the pyramids and these perfectly preserved blue beings with beautiful blue eyes under the pyramids, and how this ties with Gilgamesh. And this is about a minute 20 seconds long.
WikiLeaks, when they leaked all of the Hillary Clinton emails and different stuff, there was an email from Hillary. It says requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body and the location of the buried Nephilim.
And in 2003, April 2003, coincidentally 1 month before we set up the military occupation phase in Iraq, and the first thing our troops did was raid the Museum of Iraq, and 170,000 items were reported stolen. Of those, most of them were returned. The ones that were not returned were about 3,000 items that all dealt with resurrection and the afterlife. Probably just a coincidence. That's right after they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. And if the stories are to be believed, the body was found, believed to be Gilgamesh, incredibly well preserved, and the primary objective was to extract DNA.
The idea of the resurrection or resuscitation, the Egyptians held this. This is one of the basic concepts behind mummification, that they believed that these could be brought back to life in some point in time. And the ancient beliefs are being pursued through science. And the whole concept of transhumanism and uploading consciousness into machines, I mean, this is still, it's an ancient belief, but this is still something that is being hotly pursued.
So you can kind of see what we're talking about here. All this is in the general location, same location. Very similar circumstances under a lot of this stuff. Hey, Camo Dad. So this is why when I watch this stuff, I'm going, there seems to be a connection here.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to wonder, they called that the cradle of life for a reason.
Yeah.
And I do believe that they have known about the reason for a while now, and they are just now starting to figure out how things are put together.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't put it past the elitist of the world, the Black Rocks of the world, the Clintons of the world, the Gates of the world, all these, powerful people, including Soros, with all their money and all their political pull, to try and keep the information as silent as possible and use it for their own purposes and screw humanity. So, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Daryl, to answer your question, regardless if there's airflow in there or not, there's going to be airflow in there because people are in there breathing. But just from walking in and out will cause dust in there as well, just from
Yeah.
walking.
Yeah.
But there's going to be airflow in there because people are walking around and breathing. So you got airflow. So even with that airflow, there's going to be particles of dust brought in. You're going to bring it in yourself by just walking in there. So there's always going to be dust getting in there.
There's
just
one
the way-
thing to consider too with all that, and that is the lack of humidity. If
Yep.
it's not a humid atmosphere, you're not going to see that much of a degradation of a breakdown of certain key components of the structure inside. They're gonna be a little bit more cleaner because they don't have that moisture in the air that could break it down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When you got constant heat and moisture, that's what breaks shit down. If that's why they always tell you, like when you're preserving food to make it last for a while, where you put it? In a cool, damp place. Um, Same concept. I mean, the heat mixed in with the moisture is what's going to break everything down. If it doesn't got heat, which if this is far underground like it is, it's not going to have heat. It's going to be cooler.
Right.
That's why animals in the desert bury themselves in the sand to get away from the heat because it's cooler underneath. I mean, this is all basic biological science, all science and biology combined together. It's basic levels of it, but I mean, that's a lot of things concerned. That's why they tell you when you make your root cellars, you bury it in the ground. Okay, Snow, if you don't quit moving around, you're going to get down. Now, come on, you know how to behave, bud. Um, so, I mean, this is all factors into it. There's being underground for some reason, just about everything we come to look at in the bizarre and the unknown part of this world has to do with either water or being underground or something doing with the natural flow of the energy of the earth.
Hey, Ricky.
It's just out. I mean, it's weird. Hey, Ricky. Maybe because the energy and makeup of them, dust particles are repelled when it's not working, so it wouldn't get filled up all the years. Yeah, that is a possibility, Bounty. That is a possibility. But if it ain't running, then there ain't that charge there to repel it, which allowed dust to collect. So, I mean, I don't know if it's running or not. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. If
these people could
refresh, what will their brains be
Yeah.
like? A long rest. That's a very good question.
Look at Gilgamesh. He looks like he's just sitting there sleeping. I mean, there's no decay, nothing. I mean, just perfectly. He taking a nap. Look at how many times we hear stories of vampires and how they sleep for long periods of time. Is that where we got that concept of these vampires doing that? Is from like Gilgamesh, these demigods. That's like, hey man, I'm gonna take a long nap, eventually wake up and change everything.
Good. That's weird because your voice just cut out there for a little bit when you were trying to talk about that. Yeah, it got real muffled, like you were holding your hand over your mouth. So.
Oh wow, what part? Where did it leave off at?
Well, after the whole, Gilgamesh looking like he's just taking a long sleep, and the comparison to vampires. As soon as you said vampire, your whole voice kind of changed and got muffled.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, is that where the concept of vampires taking a long nap and then coming back comes from? It's possible. I mean, it really is. I don't know. It's something to look into, something to keep filed in the file cabinet.
All right. Exactly.
Yes, the girl they do. Yes, they do. Aloha.
Big, yeah, big shout out to our friend Ricky from Hawaii. I hope everything's good out there. And we pray for
Mahalo for
Hawaii
coming.
all the time and all the islands. And I just hope everything's going good. I don't know what's going on with the volcano, but I hope everybody's safe. It's been predicted also that the 3 volcanoes within the United States are going to erupt. The one in Alaska, the one in Hawaii, and one other somewhere in the mainland of the United States. So let's hope it's not Yellowstone. So
Yeah. Hey, Juno. I mean, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, the gate of hell is definitely one of those gates, Juno. Yeah.
yeah,
I
Juno,
agree.
that's correct. Very good. Yep.
Like a bear hibernate. Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at because I mean, his image is, his body is so well preserved.
It's
It's
creepy.
not, it does not look, yeah, it doesn't look like it has death. It looks like it still has life. And we
You
hear
could almost see
stories.
him grinning.
Yeah. And we hear stories throughout our ancient cultures of these gods and these demigods that take long naps to regain energy, and then they come back. Very similar to what we hear of these vampire stuff. That's why I kind of said the two together, and so that makes you wonder: are they actually sleeping? And this energy is what wakes them up, like an alarm clock. Um,
Yeah. I'm curious about Carl. Has anybody ever heard anything about the red heifers? Because they have to be
yep,
sacrificed pretty soon. Um,
they're
they're only down to like 2 of them now to actually be used for sacrifice because they're starting to get
um,
the grayish color to the hair. So
from what I've just heard, everything is lined up perfectly. The heifers, everything is lined up perfectly, and the priests have been trained. So the
okay.
building of the third temple is fixing to happen.
Hmm. I see David's comment too here.
Yep, I was getting ready to start working my way down. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. There you go. Put it back up. 3
Yeah,
additional major fault lines for reaching the Mid-East. Yeah.
yeah, they had the one earthquake here a few years back that was centered in, where was it centered out of? I don't know, somewhere in central Virginia. I can't remember the exact spot, but that was a 3.5 or 3.6 earthquake that they had here. They've been having a lot more quakes along the East Coast lately in the Midwest than normal. But yeah, there's fault lines. I mean, if you think about it, every major um, mountainous region is going to have a fault line because that's the way mountains are
Mhm.
created. They are pushed up
Correct.
from within. So, they're going to have fault lines around mountains. Um, so, that just comes with living in mountain life. But
Holy
yeah,
crap.
there's
Uh, Holy crap. So the third temple's getting ready to be rebuilt, right?
yeah.
That's what we're talking about now. What else is coming out at the exact same time? And we've been covering it this morning. The energy structures under the pyramids and Gilgamesh's resurrection. This all is coming out at the exact same time.
Hmm. Could be the rise of the Antichrist.
Could be.
But the Antichrist is supposed to come from the sea.
Yep. and it's going to be acknowledged by the Jews, which people don't realize there's actually two Jews. There's the satanic Jews and there's the true Jews. And the
Exactly.
satanic Jews are the ones that are in charge right now, which I believe they'll be the ones that usher in the Antichrist. It won't be the true Jews.
Right. And, of course, the Antichrist could come from the Red Sea,
Mm-hmm.
which is right in the area. Interesting.
TG, good to see you. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. It just clicked. I mean, just clicked with pyramids, Gilgamesh, and the building of the third temple. I'm like, this is all happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Robert says, William, it appeared you.
Let's see about bringing some others from the chat on and possibly seeing what their opinions are about the whole pyramid thing and Gilgamesh and the final reconstruction of the third temple, and see what their thoughts are on it, because I'd be interested to hear what the chat has to say. So if we could do this in an orderly fashion, man, I'll just go ahead and post the link in the chat for everybody if anybody wants to come on and give their thoughts on oh wow, wait a minute, what the hell did I just press? No, not that. Not that. Okay, all right, here we go. Okay, come on, get off of there.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do this in an orderly fashion, okay? So Eric will hand out numbers from 1 to 5, and we'll see about bringing 5 people on in a certain order. That way we don't overload the the internet and lose the feed. So I'm going to go ahead and post it in the chat, the link, and whoever wants to come on first, just let us know in the chat, and we'll go from there, and we'll just start a lineup. Okay, the link is in the chat. TG, good to see you.
Yeah, I was waiting for you. I was going to say that he's been putting some good comments in there, and I actually agree with that statement very much. I think what we have been taught per the Bible is not the end times that we're taught. It's something where it's more of an ascension. I believe we're going to ascend to a higher dimensional way of being.
I think that you can't believe anything that we were taught. You can't believe anything that comes out of the controlling part of our society as a whole. No matter what religious belief you have, I do believe that all religion is tainted to a point where it has been changed and manipulated by people in prominent positions. And I believe that there already has been a one world religion since Constantine. And you know what I'm talking about.
That is the key thing that I was trying to hint around right there, because that is when certain ways of thinking got changed. We're definitely taught wrong. Yes, I believe we are. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still hacking stuff up.
I'm fighting a massive headache right now too, like I'm being freaking attacked.
My head feels like it's in a vice, but I think it's because of my allergies. Let me know. Let me know who wants to come in, and then I'll sign you a number. Eric, when do you want people to come in for next time? Yeah, if you're wanting to come on live, let me know. I'll sign you a number, and then we'll have you click on that link. Crap, it jumped on me.
Yeah, it's been doing that.
Well, I mean, the chat's flying. It's off in there. Well, as they have said it in the chat earlier, the chat is caffeinated, so it is flying, which it is flying. So it has to be caffeinated. You guys make me laugh, man.
David, it doesn't matter if you got kids or not, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They really do, Bounty. I'm a big believer in that. We would come on, but we have company with kids at the moment. Too much noise. I grew up knowing Nimrod to be another way to say fool. Yeah, Nick and Poop Nimrod. Yep.
Dude, we've been talking about that. Robin and Trish, good to see you. We have been talking so much about the supernatural lately in the last 24 hours that I am literally seeing so much activity right now. It's amazing.
So, while I'm waiting to see who wants to come in, I've got another video. I think it's interesting that you people will like. Just waiting on.
What do you mean, you people?
This is kind of, to me personally, just how my brain works, which my brain works some weird damn ways. I think a lot of this ties together, but this video is 59 seconds long. I'm interested in what you guys think after you watch it. Here it goes.
You guys want to see a super weird, creepy video? Yeah? Okay. These have been popping up everywhere. So here's my question. Is this AI generated? Is this some fuckery? Is this a weird drone? Are these fucking aliens? Is it the Sentinels from fucking Matrix? Because it kind of looks like those. Let's take a look, and I want to hear what you guys have to say. What is that? So these are being spotted in California over the fires, as well as North Carolina. I remember these same images coming out during the hurricane in Texas, Hurricane Helena. What the fuck are those things? And does that have something to do with the strange explosions we're hearing in the sky? I'm asking. I have no idea.
So, yeah, I'm an old Marine grunt, so sometimes, especially when I'm tired, I can't filter it. So, "you people" comes out. That's a common phrase for me, "you people," because that's how we talk in the Marines.
What's going on here?
Carl, you can come on if you want to for a minute. I'll let someone else come on, but I do come on sometime, and people can see who I am and have much respect for women.
You can turn your camera off. You can turn your camera off, Carl, before you come on. You don't have to have your camera on. Just make sure you have your microphone on when you come on. That's all you got to do. It'll give you a choice to either not have the camera on and have the microphone on, or not have the microphone on and the camera not on. So you can set it, but leave your microphone on and turn your camera off, and you will have a silhouette. Just your first letter of your name will be there.
Yeah.
So
for me on that video,
don't have to worry about disclosing anybody's identity that way. It'd be just like me putting my camera off like this, except I got my wolf, design there. So,
yep. For me in that video, man, that can go one of three ways. That can be a legitimate video, which people are claiming to see this stuff in the skies. Or to me, I mean, that flows a lot like a kite does. So could it be a kite? Matrix is a big movie. They're going to make, I'm pretty sure they got kites that look like the Matrix stuff. Could it be AI? Absolutely. That could be that too. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious, but I mean, from what I'm understanding and hearing on the interweb is people are seeing this type of stuff. Who's Don Cherry? Freaky. I don't know who Don Cherry is. Maybe I do and just don't remember. I've always heard of growing up with mechanisms in and around pyramids that, well, I mean, look at all the advanced, the futuristic type tools that they found around the pyramid. Not counting the what things that look like motherboards, but I'm talking about actual diamond cutting tools they found around the pyramids.
Yep.
And all of them's got to have energy. Your junk is covered body or messy. Yeah, Frankie. They will reset our life with those tools that they have. All the weak-minded ones will be ebbed. The problem to us, stay in line and not astray from beliefs God is real. Yeah. Yeah. I would want people to see me. No problem with that. Well, I mean, you want to come on, Carl? Just you're number one.
Don Cherry is the commentator for the Canadian hockey. Very opinionated.
I have no clue who that is. I have absolutely no clue who that is.
They're
I don't watch
comparing
hockey.
you to a very opinionated commentary.
I'm opinionated, so I guess that works.
Oh, that's funny. Oh.
I'll take it as a compliment. Hell. Opinionated. Is he like a cool dude? I mean, if he's cool, I'll take it as a compliment.
Yeah. That's a good statement, Robin. Robin's got a good statement there about everything comes from Mother Earth. You know, everything we need, and that's true. And they latched on to the whole energy mechanism. But for what purpose? Is it a resurrection chamber, or is it just to put energy around the globe? You know what I mean? It's hard to say. I think it's a resurrection chamber. I think it's exactly what they found years ago, and they were trying to find Gilgamesh's tomb because he was the key. You remember how I'm always telling you guys, always acknowledge what the lock is, and then always find the key to open that lock. Okay? Like we discussed last night. And Gilgamesh is the key to that lock of disclosing whatever is that chamber is used for.
Yeah, Rick, we've had them for a while. We've now advanced from the hydraulic systems that they used, and HARP now uses frequency to cause them. No, did he? That's not me because I don't wear bright colors. You guys are wanting. I'm probably going to have to let you guys out, ain't I? Which is a chamber that lets consciousness astray move on the planet. That is also a possibility. Look at that Minority Report movie. Where are they laying in? They're laying in water. They're oh my God, I just forgot the term. Telepathic, and they lay in water, and they can predict the future of somebody committing murders. That is a very good possibility as well.
Why don't you play the pyramid video again if you can, and that'll give you a break to let the dogs out.
All right, perfect. Yeah, they're starting to be a pain in the butt right now. Here we go.
Well, it seems like today someone has finally made their way down the shafts that were found under the pyramids in Egypt. Clutch your pearls, girls, because now you're telling me that as of today, Dr. and archaeologist Rami, I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I don't want to be disrespectful to the Egyptian culture, is the first human being to make his way to the bottom of the shafts underneath the pyramid and has reported back what he found in the chamber at the bottom. And it is mind-blowing. Now, like always, take what you will, leave what you won't. I have purposely not talked about this topic yet because I like to have my facts backed. But as of today, allegedly, archaeologist Rami, I'm not going to try the name again, has made his way to the bottom, and what he found there was perfect blue, like water chambers, I guess is what I'm referring to them as, with the most beautiful blue color water that he's ever seen in his life, with preserved humanoid body-like creatures in the water, with, as he describes, the most crystal clear blue color in their eyes that he has ever seen. Now, once again, anything we talk about is for conversation, learning, entertainment purposes only. But have you heard this? Because I've now read 10 different reports and seen multiple videos all over social media, all over the different forums, and they're all claiming the exact same thing. So tell me, have you heard this? Because this is going to shake up history and the truth of our world like nothing else. So let's have this conversation today because I want to know if more people know about this. So drop it in the comments.
So, what I find interesting is like you're talking about here. One of the things we went and collected when we went to the big kitty litter box, and there's a reason why I called that on the internet because I don't want to get William Dean. But when we went over to the big kitty litter box, we took an artifact called I'll just brain farted mirror, looking glass. That shows you, I can't remember, if it was 1,500 or 15,000. I can't remember how many predictions of the future. Could that be the same thing as what Urso's saying here? And it's the conscious astral, way of moving things, like it is a Minority Report. That could be another form of it, and that's why certain individuals of certain so-called power, are so hell-bent on being there, because that could be another form of one.
Right.
And that's why you have the perfectly preserved bodies in there. That is another good theory to consider. Thank you, Urso.
Yeah, the truth of it is, though, that just because we question everything doesn't necessarily mean that we believe everything. Okay. I, for one, I stand in my faith, because I came from a dark place to a place of light. And, I've been the shadows, I've lived in the shadows. So trust me, I've dealt with the devil and the devil's dominions, firsthand. And I know the kind of manipulation factors that are deployed, when you're dealing with dark forces and the malevolent energy. So, by us talking about it does not make it actually, it does not vindicate anything that we are talking about. We are just strictly bringing it up for conversation to figure out, some kind of a reason for it. And we all know that the devil, and the dark forces are going to manipulate the most powerful people in humanity, and they basically already have. And we see it every day of our lives, whether we believe it or not. There is still goodness in people, but unfortunately, it's the people that don't, have any type of control in our world to do things for the better. And that's why you see some of these people coming forth, and struggling to get information out, because all these other powerful people are trying to silence them. That's, one of the problems I have, even with this channel. People, that are in high positions of influence and power, try to silence this channel. And, I've named them hundreds of times on this channel. And every time I've named them, I mean, that's, I always get hit with this, that, and the other thing. Either the internet goes out, or equipment failure, or audio trouble, or some kind of technical trouble, or just the fact of copyright strikes. I mean, anybody that follows me on Facebook knows darn well, that I have been fighting and fighting and fighting to keep this channel going. Because those malevolent people that are connected to the dark, are trying to silence it. And they don't like this kind of conversation, and they try to control it, because they're directed to do so. So anytime that Eric and I come on, or anybody and I come on, Corey or I, or Eric and Corey, whoever it is, David and Melissa, it could be anybody, anyone in the chat. I mean, you can have malevolent forces trying to manipulate you. Yes, this is true. But if you're strong enough and don't show fear and stand in your faith, you've got nothing to worry about. And I can say that unequivocally, that is 150% true. You don't have anything to worry about as long as you don't show fear and you are strong in your faith, because they can't do nothing. Okay? They will not do nothing to you unless God allows it, and God is not going to allow it. One of the sacred rules that God has is basically not to mess with his children, and we are his children. Okay? So, when we talk about Gilgamesh and all that, we are merely trying to connect the dots. So I don't want anybody to think that we are basically going towards the dark, if you know what I mean. So that's just that's just my opinion. So
Anybody who watches that show knows that.
All right.
We constantly reference Yahuwah and Yeshua, and not what the modern Christians want you to call them, but their true names, Yahuwah and Yeshua. Robin, I've heard of that, but I never really put stock in it. But it does make you think. And she says, I will probably get in trouble for saying this, but no guts, no glory. Has anyone noticed that all nuclear power plants like the one in Ohio is built on fault lines for entertainment purposes only? I've never put really a whole lot of stock into that, but now that you say it, I'm pretty sure I've heard that before.
Yeah, bolt gun, I agree. We're definitely in for some interesting times.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to get caught up on these because we got some questions here. What if those preserved bodies were like not batteries, but a catalyst? Not sure if I'm explaining. I mean, that's kind of, that's kind of where we're hinting at, Bounty. I mean, that's definitely a type of theory. Definitely. I mean, definitely a possibility. Yep. I mean, I agree with you guys. And I'm sorry, TG. I'm not putting those up because I really think you're taking what we're saying out of context. I'm not trying to be rude to you, but I'm not doing that. There we go. Don't misunderstand me. I absolutely believe in Jesus, but I'm not the typical. Yeah, I mean, I'm not either.
I don't think there's such thing as any typical Christians, to tell you the truth. Because if anybody watches the podcast from even last night's podcast, Into the Red Rabbit Hole, we discussed that to a point that Christians, come in different religious beliefs. Even Judaism comes in different religious beliefs. Even Muslim comes in different types of beliefs. Okay, you have your extreme, and then you have your traditional that believe in the Quran and all that. So I mean, it's to label people one specific type is almost impossible nowadays. So, and when you think about the fact that we were taught these beliefs, okay, without experiencing these beliefs firsthand, okay, that we can recall. All right. So we're putting a lot of faith in the ones that raised us to teach us the right way, okay, and to teach us the truth. So, and that's why I have no faith in the education system, no faith in the college system, the university systems, no faith in medical science, no faith in science particular. I don't agree with any of it. I don't believe in NASA is NASA. I don't believe the Smithsonian has our best interest at heart. That's just me. Okay. So, and I will not trust anybody that is in a political position of influence or has a lot of money to influence. Okay. So that's just me personally. Question everything means you question everything.
Yep. Dead Wolf, there's a couple comments you made I'm not putting up just because that is playing into something that we don't like to play into. So I'm just letting you know I'm not being rude by not putting them up. It's just I'm not going to put those up. Structure of the day are built to dissolve. There will be no evidence of our history. Well, if you study it, if you look at a lot of things, Ricky, we see that. Now, ancient structures are still standing thousands of years after they were built, where our stuff nowadays just crumbles and falls. I mean, TG, man likes to play God, and that's what we're trying to expose on a lot of stuff out here is how certain individuals of not very good faith like to try and play God. We've talked about that multiple times on this show. That is one thing we love to expose on this show because people change the truth, change things, and try to play God, and that's what we try to connect the dots on here.
Ever since the whole thing with Constantine in 317 AD or 370 AD, excuse me, with Constantine, where he changed his faith from paganism to Christianity. To me, that's a crock of bull. I don't believe it, not for one instance, because at that time they took so many apocryphas and books from the Bible the way it was supposed to have been. And now you have a Bible that is missing part of the truth that humanity needs. The book of Enoch, the book of Jubilee, the book of Thomas. These are all other books that should have been part of that Bible. The book of Giants. There's so much missing that was removed from the original way the Bible was intended to be. And it all happened. It all happened with Constantine. And I don't believe for one instance that Constantine changed his beliefs from paganism to Christianity. Not for one moment do I believe it. I think he did that because he knew that there was something about a one world religion control. Okay.
Yep.
And that is what we see in effect today, and why you see so much turmoil in Christianity, of any type of Christianity, but Catholicism in particularly. They control masses because most of the masses are the needy or the less fortunate. Okay, so when you give to them, they feel obliged to follow the beliefs of that religion. Okay, that's why you have so many of the Spanish speaking countries that are Catholic. Okay, so there's what, 283 million Catholics in the world. So that's quite a bit. And that's just the ones that claim to be Catholic. Then you have the Catholics that really, they're Catholic, but they don't admit it. You know what I mean? They go to Catholic, they go to Catholic mass and all that, but they don't in their life show that they are Catholic. You know what I mean? So you're probably talking 300-400 million people, altogether. To me, that could be the start of a one world religion. So that to me, with Constantine, I don't believe the whole bit with Constantine. I really don't. And then you think about the missing 500 years or so of history happened the same time frame that Constantine apparently became Christian. Okay, allegedly became Christian. So, so there's so much that is missing. There really is. And
Yeah.
until the true Messiah comes back, we're not going to really know the truth. So we literally have to question everything, guys. We literally do.
Yep. Twisted, good to see you. Van, good to see you. What did I fall into? Are you guys true believers of the fanatic church cartel believer? No, you missed. You have to go back and watch, Van. We were covering something. And what matters is what's in your heart, not your head. Actually, I believe both, heart and, because it's all connected. It's all part of one. That's just my thoughts, though.
Yep, it's like I said last night. What did I say last night?
Yeah.
Your brain, your head is the lock, and your spirit and your imagination is the key. Anytime we pray to God or whatever you want, whoever you want to pray to, whatever religion it is, manifestation has a lot to do with it. Okay, you visualize your prayer coming true, you feel your prayer coming true, you embrace that feeling that God is personally answering your prayer, whatever God you pray to. So it is that way, and we have to remember too that our brain, our eyes aren't the reason that we see. Our brain interprets the signals that our eyes send to the brain, okay, to discern what we're looking at, okay, what colors, what shapes, what sizes, what depth, everything. Our brain is the computer system that interprets what our eyes see. So our eyes, when we see with our eyes, we're not seeing with our eyes, we're seeing with our brain, because our brain interprets those signals. Okay. Aloha,
With
Ricky.
that said, I've got another video for you guys to think about. Actually, funny enough, it kind of coexists with what we were talking about just now, but this one's about 55 seconds long, and it's something that we've covered extensive. We've talked about a lot on here. But it's a trick. If I can find one, I'd like to try. And if anybody has one, when you watch this video, try it out and let me know what you guys get. And here you go.
So apparently you can use an old phone to see the truth about the Mandela effects. For example, he did have a headband on, I know for a fact, but in the videos now, it's removed. Same with Shaggy. He always had like a big Adam's apple. Boom, like that. This is what they're... But check out the rest of the video.
Can you play that again?
What do you
I
guys
didn't
think?
see that.
Yep. Here you go. Right there. Here we go.
So apparently you can use an old phone to see the truth about the Mandela effects. For example, he did have a headband on, I know for a fact, but in the videos now, it's removed. Same with Shaggy. He always had like a big Adam's apple. Boom, like that. This is what they're... But check out the rest of the video.
All that stuff that was going on there, I remember too. I remember because you remember every time Shaggy gulped, his asthma apple would go bloop, bloop. I remember that.
Yep.
I remember, the headband too. He was famous for that red, white, and blue headband. I mean, all this stuff. Orange flag warning. But yeah, I mean, this is once again, this kind of plays into what we're talking about because look how many times we've covered stuff on the Mandela effect, and I mean, there's just more stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. But I'm kind of curious if anybody, hey, Freaky, good to see you again. Kailua is shooting up 1,000-foot. No kidding. And it's an oozing type of volcano.
Kilauea. Yeah. Kilauea is definitely.
Yeah. That is Ricky. Wow. I haven't been on, the islands and said, well, I left in 2003. Yeah. But everything that they were talking about in that video, I remember. Because I grew up watching the same stuff. I remember the scarf. I remember the headband, the Adam's apple. I remember Tom Cruise having sunglasses on, wide dancing in t-shirt, underwear, and socks.
And don't forget the
I
sunglasses.
remember all that stuff. That's why I said the sunglasses. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember every bit of this. I grew up watching that stuff. Yeah. Joshua Zoinks. Yeah. You remember every time he gulped, man, you'd see that Adam's apple come up and down. Yeah. So I don't know. But, things get changed. This is just a change tied to the Mandela effect. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious what you guys think.
I'm reading the comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to get caught up on them too. Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Well, I would have to say that a lot of the Mandela effect that we're seeing that has increased lately has a lot to do with the 5G. I really do. I think that they're using the 5G and possibly 6G to manipulate humanity. So they didn't get their effect that they had with 4G, so now they got to try 5G and 6G. So,
I mean, the 5G is supposed to microwave people and drop them. That's what 5G is supposed to be. Could the 4G led in what we're calling a Mandela effect and the 5G is going to kill it off? Possibly. 4G didn't work. We get what we call a Mandela effect, and the 5G is supposed to be the final to humanity. That's possible too.
well, they've already come up with a 6G, so I don't think the 5G worked the way they wanted it to.
Too many people exposed it. It got out. Kind of like Agenda 21. Agenda 21 got out. Too many people caught on to what was going on. A prime example, Agenda 21 is the Mockingbird. The movie's The Mockingjay or Mockingbird, whatever. I can't remember what the movie's called. Good movies, though. But how that's set up is set up just like Agenda 21. So now they've changed it. And now they call it,
The Hunger Games.
The Mockingjay. Yeah, Hunger Games. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. And so now you won't find Agenda 21 because they've changed it. I can't remember what they changed it to because now I can't even find it anymore because it got exposed to what they're trying to do.
Yep.
Yep. Velma said jinkies. Shaggy always said zoinks.
Yep. What'd Scooby say?
Yep.
Ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Yep. You get 5G plus? I've never seen a 5G plus. Oh, wow. So Joplin's got 5G plus. Wow.
Huh. I guess that just makes Roxanne special.
Yeah. Go, Roxanne. Oink, oink. Go, Roxanne. Oink, oink. Roxanne's jumper munchers. Maybe that's why her jumper munchers are flying out.
She's going to get you so bad. She's going to get you so bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for it. I can see her laughing and just the wheels are turning in her head right now. It's like, that's all right. That's all right. I got you.
The wheels are turning in her head. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man.
She's going to be thinking of ways to get me. I can see it now.
Oh my God. I can't believe you just basically threw yourself to the wolves.
I know it's coming anyways. I might as well just get it primed and ready. Yeah. I know I'm already expect it to happen every single time I'm on a live. So yeah. I might as well go with it.
I wonder I'm going to Google the Alaska volcano and see what's going on with that.
Hey, Millis. Yep. The Scooby-Doo sandwich was something we always wanted to eat. Yeah, Scooby snacks. I mean, gotta love Scooby snacks, man.
Yeah, but he always made the triple decker, sandwiches and stuff, that he ate.
Yeah, it's like this freaking big. I remember I tried making them when I was a kid too. Heck yeah. I can't say nothing. I still do crap like that from time to time. Hey, take it easy, David. Zombie world happening. It is. Roxanne says, William, more like Godzilla. Millis, I forgot all about that. They did talk about the Anunnaki and Scooby Doo. I forgot all about that.
Ooh.
That was like that was towards the beginning of their cartoons, if I remember right, when they first started coming out with their cartoons.
Okay, the latest on the Alaskan volcano is that a massive, huge steam plume is rising from the Alaskan Mount Spur as volcano edges closer to eruption.
What's
23
that mean?
hours
Is when that
ago. Yeah, 23 hours ago. I wouldn't be surprised if, yeah, and this is from Live Science. The Alaskan Volcano Observatory has shared a new image of the plumes of gas and steam out of Mount Spur, which scientists suspect will erupt in the coming weeks or months. Massive plume of steam has released from Alaska's Mount Spur volcano. That's not good. That's the update today. They say it's going to erupt within a couple weeks. So I wonder if Kilauea volcano is kind of like the precursor to the Ring of Fire going off.
I mean, it's all part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, so yeah.
God forbid that happen, because it'll devastate the world.
Yeah. I mean, if the Pacific Ring of Fire goes, I believe it's estimated 1/3 of the world's population will be done. Damn. Dang.
All right, let me see here. Let me see if I can find images of Kilauea.
This friendship is my love story. Do you think we're going to gloss over the fact that you're the color of an
Come on, get rid of the commercials.
Hey, Rhonda. Yeah, William was talking about that at the beginning of the show. Dang, man. You up in the take it you're up in Canada, maybe? Yes, it does, Bolt. Yeah. Does it say that now, Carl? Because I've always known it as the lion shall lie with the lamb. Is it saying the wolf will lie with the lamb? I didn't know that changed. My Bible still says lion.
Yeah, I've always thought it said lion also.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Okay, here's the volcano update. USGS Hawaii Volcano Observatory issues volcano updates for Kilauea as activity warrants. Alert level is is orange, like Ricky said. That's the watch level. Wow. Let me see some pictures of it. Volcano notification service. No, I don't want to subscribe. Come on. I just want a freaking picture.
Let me get back up here for a second. I lost it. Ricky, man, a lot of people are against Freemasons. You know, William and I both are Freemasons. And I can tell you now, we're the furthest thing from Satanism there is. So, I mean, all these people getting on the interweb talking about Freemasons, I can tell you now, everything I've heard from them has been bullarchy. You know, I'm a past master of my lodge, you know, and everything they've talked about, I've never experienced in Freemasons. There was a sect called the PJ2 Masons that were satanic, and they were expelled from the fraternity because they were practicing Luciferian. And a lot of people confuse the PJ2 Masons with Freemasons. Yes, they were Freemasons until they were expelled. Oh my gosh.
That's the
Wow,
Kilauea.
that thing is shooting up there.
Yep, that's Kilauea currently. God, I pray God protects those people, man. Protect his children.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Now you got that song stuck in my head, Van. They could be. I mean, I've got another video I'd have to download. I'd have to upload it and then download it. But when they shoot the laser beam off, it lets this weird sound, sometimes a crack in the sky. And it makes me wonder if that ain't it. I mean, it's showing them start these laser beams, starting these fires all over the place in California, Hawaii. I mean, foreign countries, Arizona. You know, you see when these fires start, you see a laser beam shoot from the sky.
Yeah. Oh.
William, I think Robin says, I think the volcano at Yellowstone is what the bears are trying to tell them because they can't not figure out why the bears will not move from the entrance. They're asking people not to come here.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw a picture of that. There is literally hundreds of grizzly bears laying on the main road entrance into Yellowstone that refuse to move.
Oh, wow. I'm a third degree master mason, which is the highest degree you can reach. People think that 32nd and 33rd are higher. No, that is further education. The highest degree you can reach is third degree master mason, which is what I am.
I'm a 32nd degree.
Yeah.
But
all
I'm
that other
master
stuff you get. Yeah. All that other stuff they talk about, the 32nd, the 33rd, all that stuff is just further education. It's not a higher degree like everybody on the internet says. It is not a higher degree. It's further education. So anytime somebody tells you that, you know, oh, the highest level is a 33rd degree master mason, no, that is not the highest level. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yep. Yep. I'm a 32nd degree Scottish Rite. So certificate to prove it. So
yeah, I'm not, because I have not chosen to continue my education. I'll probably end up going York Rite side because I want to learn more of the Christian side of Freemasons, which is York, where Scottish Rite is more of the Mason side of Masons, like the stone structures. I'm probably going to go more of York and the Christian side of Freemasons.
And I'll tell you what. Now, one thing that people need to understand when they come to dealing with Freemasonry is 50% of the charities throughout the world. You know, it says in the Bible that if you give to charity, you're not supposed to speak of it. Okay, it's supposed to be anonymously done. Okay,
Mhm.
we don't do it like
Anyway,
the Catholic churches do. You know, we don't have this big old truck that says Catholic Charities. Or notifications in newspapers and everything. What we do is we invest what money we have, what time we have, and what professional um, attributes we have and talents we have anonymously to communities. Okay. Take, for instance, and this is just an example. Okay. Locally where we live, there was a large, when I first came here, there was a large homeless community living in basically a tent city. I teamed up with a local sheriff deputy, and we managed to get every one of those individuals into secure, safe living environments, and even got some of them jobs. I actually
mhm.
got a gentleman that was hired that was homeless living in his pickup truck, okay, and storing his personal items in a storage unit. Got him a job and a place to live. And so there's so much to be said, and with any group, whether it's the Elks, the Moose, the Eagles, the
Mhm.
Odd Fellows, whatever group you come across, okay, um, you're gonna have your good and you're gonna have your bad. Okay, you
Mhm.
can't have the yin without the yang. Okay, you can't
Nope.
have one without the other. So, but I can tell you for a fact that the majority of people that are involved in Freemasonry do it because they care about humanity. They don't want to control humanity. Okay. There might be that certain couple few in throughout, the world that, think that they're almighty and everything and have that attitude and that ego and want to control everything. But, you know, it, it's it's not that way at all. Okay. You can't have you to me you can't have a giving heart if you go around bragging about your giving.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You can't do it in the form of unconditional love if you go around boasting about what you're doing. That's not the way to do things. That's not the way
Mhm.
you care for humanity as a whole. You care for humanity with unconditional love. No matter what religious belief you are, what color your skin is, where geographically you live, if you can care about humanity as a whole unconditionally and do works in a good way to benefit humanity, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what groups you belong to, what religion you are. The whole purpose of the teachings of the Bible was to teach us unconditional love, the most powerful force in the universe. Okay, and until we believe we fully understand that, you know, I mean, in every religion in the world, you're going to find they have beauty. Okay, every religion in the world will have beauty. Okay, so my being Native American and coming from my native culture and traditions, and conforming to the Christian belief basically of how things are. I don't know how many thousands of times you all have heard me call him the creator, you know, my heavenly father. Okay, the creator, because he is. Okay, not because I'm twisting or conforming the belief, but because to me, that's what he means to me. He created everything. He's the creator. Okay, so and that's what we are taught in native culture, indigenous cultures, to call him the creator. You know, that's why we have medicine men and medicine women, because they are the conduits to the creator. Okay, the way it's supposed to be. Okay, and every belief in the world has that beauty within it. No matter what belief you have. Okay, it's all about coming together for the good of humanity and the will of the creator unconditionally, plain and simple. And if you can't grasp that to better humanity as a whole, then what good are we? Literally. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how tall you are, how short you are, how educated you are, how much money you make. you know what counts is here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
not here. We use this way too much. What counts is
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah. Real quick, Van. I'm not real clear how you're getting on that, but we swore an oath not to give away the fraternity's secrets. And anybody calls it an order, it's not an order, it's a fraternity. But what I did not swear an oath to was I could not tell you that you can go to the Library of Congress and read everything that we do.
Hmm. Exactly.
I just said that I would not reveal our secrets, in which I'm not going to reveal your secrets. So I can't comment on that. I'm still trying to figure out what you're getting at on that, and I may be looking into it too deep, and that's why I'm not picking it up. And if I do, I apologize.
Well,
But
everybody thinks that we as Freemasons hold these satanic rituals in the lodges and stuff, and that's the farthest from the truth. The best thing about going to lodge every month is the
what's
sandwiches and the
that?
coffee afterwards. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not like we're plotting to take over the damn world. We have enough
no.
headaches ourselves, you know?
I
We
can
really
tell you
do.
now, 99% of Freemasons that I know, and I know Freemasons all over this world, believe the same thing that me and William do, and are trying to help people to wake up to the BS that these evil organizations are trying to do. 99% of the Freemasons I know around this world believe the exact same thing that we do.
Yeah.
Corey, it's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you, Corey.
Yeah, and that's one thing that how do I say this without you're hitting a belief that we believe in right there, Carl, and that's what I'm going to put there. Unconditional love. Love thy neighbor, love thy man.
Yep. Yep. And it says you're
So
supposed to
DC
love your
was
neighbor as you love yourself. So, I
yeah,
mean, no matter what people do to you, you're supposed to turn the other cheek and love them unconditionally. Just think about how great the
yeah,
world would be if everybody thought that way.
yeah.
I'm just saying.
I can't tell you. All I can say is no, I can't because that reveals too much. I can't do it. Um, you want to be a Freemason, become a Freemason. If you want to know about Freemasons, I'm just going to tell you, become a Freemason. That's just what I'm going to say. And you're going to learn exactly what we're talking about, and you're going to learn how much BS these people are on the internet talking about how they know Freemasons and they were Freemasons. If they were a Freemason, I have not seen a single stitch of evidence
I'll
to
give
prove it
you a
because they
key.
don't know the first thing. Huh?
I'll give you a key. BOAO.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Um, No, I appreciate it, Van, because I'm trying to. I don't like to break oaths, so I'm skirting a blade of a knife, trying to say certain things without revealing things that I'm not allowed to reveal. And it's nothing evil. I can promise you that. But I swore an oath, and to me, oaths are very sacred. So, but but I will tell you, a lot of things that people talk about is actually stemmed from the Skull and Bones, which is not Freemasons, Illuminati's, which is
Exactly.
not Freemasons, Owls, which
The
is
Bill,
not Freemasons.
the Bilderberg Foundation is not Freemasonry. Okay.
No,
The Rothschilds have nothing to do with Freemasonry. Okay.
no.
Um, the 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 Bohemian Grove in California
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Freemasonry. Okay. Those are the snobs and the elitists that we talk about all the time. Okay. And try to disclose what they're up to. Okay. They have nothing to do with us. Okay. And nothing to do with me personally. So, you can choose to believe what
Now,
you want to read and what you hear and see on the internet, or you can ask one. Okay. Are you evil? And we'll tell you flat out, no, we're not evil. No, we
yeah,
don't want to take over the world. We don't want that
right.
headache.
We want to
Okay.
save the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will not lie to you. There are people of not very pleasant stature that infiltrate Freemasons, and some of them open up their own lodge, and that's how they get away with a lot of stuff because it's hard to expose them. But once you get enough information, you go to their Grand Lodge. As long as their Grand Lodge is not infiltrated as well, you can expel them from the fraternity because they're going against everything that Freemason stands for.
Yep.
And now that stuff does happen. Of a lot of these people in that organizations, were they Freemasons or are they Freemasons? Yes, some of them are. Evil infiltrates. PJ2 Masons, prime example. They infiltrated. They got expelled. They changed their name and started hiding their stuff a little bit better. But it does happen. We're not perfect. We're not God. We're not Yahweh. We're not Yeshua. We're humans.
Exactly, Mary. Exactly. That's exactly what we're talking about right there. Everything we do confidentially. Okay.
Yes.
Everything we do. All right. And it's about time somebody tries to bring it forward and to explain to people that, it's absurd to think that somebody like me, okay, third time cancer, and served this country and protected this country in the military, okay, and the same with Eric, would have bad intentions for the people of this country because we're Masons, and that's ridiculous. Okay, that's absurd, and I'm sorry to say that, and I don't want to offend anybody, but you know Eric and I, we try to bring forth the truth of things. We try to open up and expand people's minds to make them question everything. How many thousands of times have we said on the podcast that what we are taught from birth is wrong? It's a deception. It's an indoctrination. Okay? It's a it's a way of programming us from children to adulthood through the education system, through medical means, through social means. It's a way to program us into believing certain things. And the older you get, trust me, the older you get, the more your eyes are going to open up to things. Okay. And you're going to see that a lot of the stuff that we were taught and told isn't true.
Yeah.
It doesn't even exist. Science is not science. Okay. Education system is not an education system. It's an indoctrination system.
Yes.
Medical
to be an
science is not a medical science to heal you. It's a way to control you.
It used to be a healing factor.
Exactly. When it was holistic.
Yep. So, Roxanne, perfect comment. Yes, women are not allowed in Freemasons, not in our fraternity, but Eastern Star is not just for women. The men, their husbands can be a part of Eastern Star as well. That is a form of Freemasons for the women. That's why Eastern Star was started up. But yes,
Which
you
is-
are correct.
Which is meant to bring the husband and the wife together. The sacred
Yes.
feminine and the sacred male. Okay. Bringing them both together. Okay. That's the whole basic principles and meaning of the Eastern Star. It's a way to
I've got to. Amelia said that comment upside. It's like, oh, I got to do it for him. Change my hat for you, buddy. I agree, man. I agree. Peggy Sue got married. No, I don't know that movie. Huh. No, I don't know that movie.
No.
You're making this hard on me. You're not a real religious unless you have a hat. God wants you to wear a hat. Doesn't want you to make a gross naked head. Or so, dude, you're awesome. So
you guys are a trip.
But yeah, I've got, honey. Come on, baby girl. Come on, Aurora. Yeah. Oh. Okay, honey, you're knocking my. You're okay. I love you. I'm thank you, honey. Sorry, she's being needy. And that's the thing. That's why I always tell people, Twisted, I am not religious. I am spiritual, but I'm not religious, because when man gets into religion, they destroy it, they corrupt it, they manipulate it, they change it. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I believe in Yahweh and Yahuwah. They are my foundation. I am there. Excuse me. Sorry. They are a part of me. I believe strongly in Yahuwah and Yahweh. But we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of our eyes will be open. I was hoping you like that, bro. I had to do it just for you, man. I had to do it just for you. 100. That's what I mean. I have said that numerous times, man. United we stand, divided we fall. And that's what we need to do. We need to, our ancestors used to be united. And that was where our strength, that's where we draw strength from, is unity. We grow weak and weak-minded and weak-bodied and weak spiritually, being divided. We all need to, William and I disagree on things. Not all the time. We agree on a lot of stuff, but there's things we disagree on. I don't look down on my good brother for not believing the same way I do. He don't look down on me. We're united. We just have different beliefs.
Exactly. And just because you don't believe the same way as somebody doesn't mean you can't be cordial, that you can't be, an extended family. Okay. Just because with the way, I mean, anybody that knows me knows my background with being raised by a black witch, okay, by a Native American black witch, okay. I did all the deep, dark, demonic ceremonies and stuff, okay. and dealt with the paranormal and supernatural every day of my life, growing up, and did things I wasn't proud of. But sometimes it takes you to go through that to have an appreciation for the light.
Yep.
And that's where I'm coming from. I mean, I could have been like a million other people before me and taken the easy way out. But I didn't choose that. And he didn't want that. So
Yeah, I just got that twisted. I'll take a look at it after the show. Yeah. No, I mean, it just, all I can tell you guys is use caution. I mean, a lot of times people will say there is too many untruthers out there, too many clickbaits out there that will pick a subject that seems to get hot on the internet, and then they all start, and you'll hear them. They're all singing the exact same tune, and when they all start singing the exact same tune, that's when I start going, I need to look a little bit more into this.
I could do this if I wanted to increase the channel's volume of viewership, okay, or the number of clicks to watch a video. All I got to go into is to the title of the video and put in there, Freemasons, the evil brotherhood is taking over the world. How many thousands of people how many thousands of people do you think are going to click on that video and watch it?
Yeah. People fear what they don't understand.
So,
and the thing is, with Freemason, you have to be a Freemason to understand a Freemason, and people don't want to take that initiative to be a Freemason. They want to hear, they're sheeple. They want to hear what somebody else says instead of experiencing themselves. So when people fear, it becomes evil.
Yep.
Yeah.
BOAO. BOAO. Google that. BOAO. See what comes up.
Yep. So, all I can say is that times 3.
Yep.
Times 3. So, but no. Oh gosh, dude, we're over. Wow, we had a good show. We're over 2 hours now.
Well, we gotta cut this short. I got things I gotta do. And I'm sure you got things you want to do too here. So,
I gotta do what I don't like and donate plasma so I can go to my daughter's show or play tonight.
Yeah, that's another thing too, guys. If we were evil and all that, why do you think we would be in such a predicament that we would need to give plasma to go to our own daughter's play, or why do you think we would need to even visit like a fast food? You think we'd be, if we were so evil and rich and powerful, we'd be eating at the exclusive restaurants and driving the cars, that cost $500,000,
Got a truck with a transmission slipping.
I'm going to tell you all something. You want to know what my mode of transportation is? My 2 feet. Okay. And a cane. Okay. That's my mode of transportation. I don't have a vehicle. Okay. I can't afford a vehicle. Okay. So, to see people talk about us the way they do is very, very disheartening. I wish I had a Maserati. So
pimping Nighthawk.
Car insurance on a Maserati. But it really is something when people seek to tear down something of a subject that they don't really have any idea about. And when Eric and I talk about this, we're very selective in when we bring it up, and it's only when you, the viewing family, ask questions, and we try to answer it and to the best of our ability. But we are part of a brotherhood, okay? Just like the Marine Corps is a brotherhood, just like the Navy
Mhm.
SEALs are a brotherhood, just like, being a member of the Moose Lodge or the Elk Lodge or the Odd Fellows and stuff is a brotherhood, okay? Just like being a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout being a brotherhood or a sisterhood, okay? That's all it is. It's a fraternity,
Mhm.
okay? We're not on a college campus, okay, fraternity, okay? So, you know, I want people to stop having that belief that we're all evil, because we're not. I'm a poor Native American Wachashiwakan military vet, okay, that does paranormal investigations, supernatural investigations, and cryptid investigations and research.
Uh-oh. Did you freeze up or is that me? Am I froze up or did William freeze up? Uh-oh. Um, just in case.
All right.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah.
Hey, Van, if you wouldn't mind, save that question for tomorrow morning. We'll be back on tomorrow morning. Save that question for then, if you wouldn't mind, bud. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we're
Because
starting to
we are.
freeze up and stuff. So apparently the powers that don't want us to talk and disclose stuff wants to shut us down today. So God bless
Yeah.
everybody. We love you all in the chat, your family, and take us for who we are, okay, and what we individually
Yeah.
represent, okay? And we try to be here for everybody. We really do. Okay? But we love everybody very much. You're all family in the chat, and we look forward to this time to talk to everybody. So we will see everybody at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Eric, I guess you're not going to have a show tonight because you're going to be doing something. So
Yeah, as long as I'm able to donate plasma tonight, so I can go to her last play because she's a senior this year, so this is her very last play. I won't have a show tonight. So tomorrow, I don't know. I need to try to get with Shane. I've been having internet issues, which is odd because how did I get a power surge in my internet stuff and nothing else in my house? I mean, it fried my modem, you know fried my eye to my satellite, but nothing in my house else got fried on an energy serve, But I've got internet back now, so I got to start getting with people. You come on here, do
oh
that there. I'll
God.
tell you what that's on that pole.
Got to watch out for those Cajun pole dancers. That's a private club, and they're mean and they're
Yeah.
satanic and they're evil and they're going to take over the world. You better watch them. Anyways,
Right,
everybody,
what are you gonna do?
peace, love, and blessings
Heck
to
yeah.
everybody. Okay, and pray
Heck
for our
yeah.
country. Pray for everybody that's in our country. That they see the light and that they do good for humanity. Okay, and we'll see you all in the morning.
Thank you, Roxanne and Corey for being our mods.
Oh yes, thank you guys very much, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, everybody. Take care.